Snow, 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 snow. It's here. Hi, everybody. Carson Meredith with you on this Sunday night. It's 7/16. It's November 9th. I hope you're well, and I hope you've been able to see some snowflakes over the last couple of hours. Where our forecast is right on track. Those rain showers moved in, and we're seeing that transition to snow. Look, it's not a ton, but you know what? It's the first snowflakes of the year, so everybody's pretty excited about it. We'll obviously look at radar. We'll look at some of the M-Ping reports that many of you have been sending in throughout the evening. And we'll do a deep dive into what lies ahead for tomorrow. We still have that alert day in place for tomorrow, mainly because we'll have more snow, but it might get a little tricky instead of just being fun to look at when it comes to travel issues on your Monday. So that's the big topic tonight. Without further ado, let's just jump right into radar. And here we go. You see, there's not a ton out there. We don't expect there to be really much more in the way of snow showers as the night goes on. But this is kind of the first piece, if you will, of these snow showers. We've got this one round moving through now. We're actually going to see a little bit of dry time overnight tonight, mainly after midnight. And then by about 6 o'clock in the morning, we'll see that bigger batch of snow begin to filter in. But for now, you can just kind of see these streaks of snow showers scooting on through, pivoting around wave country. They're pivoting around that low pressure that's way off that away into parts of Ohio and Pennsylvania. And that low pressure, now that it's east of us, is pulling in also that much colder air. So that's why we've had this transition, of course, over the last few hours. Let's zoom in on who's seeing some of the better snow showers right now. Angela, are you here? I don't know if I saw you down there in Taylorsville. Looks like we've got some flurries down that way in Spencer County. Northern Nelson County. We're talking even east of Bloomfield. That's how far north we're talking here in Nelson County. Seeing some lighter snow. Northern Washington County and Kentucky. Willisburg, down towards Mackville, Deep Creek. Some flurries are flying around. Here in the city, there's not a ton at the moment. Maybe a little pocket of flurries over across the river into Floyd County, out in the Knobs and New Albany. Let's go further west where we have the heavier snow showers, just slightly heavier. This is not causing any travel issues at all, but you notice across western Crawford County up towards Birdseye, west of English, going up to Patoka Lake and Orange County too, stretching all the way down towards Brandenburg and then up towards Leavenworth. Nice little band of snowflakes flying. Now, as the evening goes on, the next 4 hours, I do expect these snow showers to dissipate. We'll get a break. And then the next piece of energy that's up in the Great Lakes right now will dive into our area near sunrise on Monday morning. So a nice little taste of winter for all you Bots fans out there getting to enjoy this tonight. Further to the south, there's still kind of that mixture going on across southern Kentucky, or central Kentucky, rather. So if you're down near E-Town, west of E-Town, really, Litchfield, any part of Hart County, you're seeing more of that mix still. And that trend will likely continue into the evening because we're still waiting on that colder air to continue to get pulled down towards our central Kentucky counties. So we'll zoom in on these showers real quick, and then we'll keep the conversation going. Near Eastview there in Hardin County, Franklin Crossroads, Four Corners, Upton, Sonora, you guys are probably seeing more rain with a few snowflakes in the mix. Same story goes for Millerstown. Let's see, Bonneville, Mumfordville, Hardyville. You guys are seeing that mixture at this stage of the game. Let's see what you guys in the comments have been seeing this evening. Who's here? Michael's here. He's been seeing some snow. Ann's here. Blue's here. There's Angela. Hello. Albert's here. Adam's here from a snowy Bloomington up that way, where there's a power outage, it looks like. Hopefully they can get that restored there quick up there, Adam. Scott's here. Bots, says another Angela from Radcliffe. Bots. Anita's here. Yes, it is definitely chilly. And quite honestly, guys, at least for tonight, yeah, the snow showers are awesome. But the big ticket item tonight is the cold. It is going to be a very, very cold Monday morning. Coldest of the season so far, no doubt. Jeremy's got flurries in Russell County. You're going to see wavy a lot tonight. All of your MPing reports, which I'll show you here on the map, we get every single one of those in our coverage area. So there's another one right there. Or just outside of our coverage area, somebody reporting that rain-snow mix in Warren County, Kentucky, near Bowling Green. And each of these little dots you see on this map, by the way, are reports that folks have sent in on the MPing app or different radar apps. Radar Scope is a popular one that a lot of you use. I have that on my phone in addition to the Wave Weather app. But you can go in there, pinpoint your location, file an MPing report, and not only do we get those MPing reports in our system, but the National Weather Service also gets those MPing reports. So that really helps them understanding how the situation is evolving when it comes to winter weather or even during severe weather too. So all those blue dots you see are reports of either snow or graupel, just like that report you see at the bottom there in Linden. The purple dots are reports of sleet or some kind of ice pellets when we were in that transition period. There shouldn't have been a ton of freezing rain. A couple of folks may have marked freezing rain, but this was a pretty quick setup given the cold air mass in place from rain, maybe a teeny tiny bit of sleet, and then eventually snow. Not much freezing rain. Well, there's no freezing rain really because temperatures are still above freezing. So, yeah, quite a few reports obviously tonight, especially in the northern half of wave country where we've seen that transition already occur. We appreciate all of you sending those reports in. Wavy usually has a little tone or a little bell that goes off with each of these MPing reports, but there's literally been dozens of them tonight, and it would drive us all crazy if it was constant while we're talking here. So, but you'll see those flash on the screen as we go through our discussion this evening. Albert still got flurries where he's at out in Finchville. Do we have school? Yes, we have not heard of any school closures into our newsroom, and I don't anticipate any, at least for now. Let's see. Have to go back out at 9 tonight. Should the roads be fine? Yeah, the roads are in good shape. We did have that alert day originally set to start tonight, but as we've looked over the data, going back to last night really, and throughout the day today, there's just not going to be enough snowfall this evening to cause big issues. And the roads are going to be largely wet because the ground is still pretty warm. It's just not enough snow to cause any major problems. So the alert day now starts tomorrow, not tonight, tomorrow. So we should be in good shape with those roads overnight tonight, which is good. Let's see. Weather Geek, hello. Haven't seen anything yet out near Shively. Lively Shively. I like that. It is kind of hit and miss with these snowflakes tonight, but you see all those MPing reports keep on coming in. And hey, we encourage you to download the MPing app or any kind of app that you can file those MPing reports. It helps us. It helps the Weather Service. It helps everybody understand what's going on. It's very, very useful. Let's see. Scott's here. Got snow in Linden. All right. Cody's watching. DJ King's here up in North Vernon. Albert says the dogs are loving the snowflakes. Love it. That's great. Let's see. Adam says he had a little dusting out up in Bloomington. Yeah, that makes sense. You guys have been in that colder air a little bit longer today, so a little more time for a little coating. But here in the wave country, I just don't see a ton of accumulations, really, if anything, this evening. Now, tomorrow might be a different story, and we will jump into that here in a little bit. So let's zoom things out. Let's just jump into it now. Why not? There's basically two pieces here that we're watching, okay? First one's obviously rolling through now. That is eventually going to fizzle. Maybe not completely, but there's not going to be as many snowflakes flying around overnight as what we're seeing this evening, okay? The next piece of energy, it's kind of hard to make out, but it's basically over the Great Lakes, maybe just to the southwest. Southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, Michigan. That second little spoke in the wheel is also going to dive south overnight tonight, and it will arrive in wave country tomorrow morning. And really after sunrise, Monday morning. And once that piece of energy moves in, that's when we're going to have the highest chance for snow, around 60%. And that's also when we have the risk for those snow squalls to develop. Remember, snow squalls are those little bands of heavier snow that can drop a quick coating of snow and could also knock down those visibilities if you're not careful. So that's what we're going to be watching as we go through the day on Monday. Until then, we've got these lighter showers now, lighter snow showers, but we also have very cold air moving in. That's a live view of downtown from Jeffersonville. Hard to see the flurries on a wide view like that this time of night, obviously. 36 our current temperature. Those temps have just kept on dropping all day. This morning, it was 52. That was our high for the day. Over 12 hours ago, I think it was. It's been downhill since. 36 with the wind out of the northwest at 16 miles per hour. Ouch. That hurts. It hurts to walk outside. So when you factor in that wind, it feels more like 26 instead with that wind chill. You can see the current actual temperatures across the board, still above freezing. So the roads are fine right now. We're good. And eventually these snow showers will fade. And we'll be left with just largely wet roads, maybe a little damp overnight tonight. But when you factor in that wind, that's what's really hurting. That's what's going to hurt when you get out the door Monday morning. It feels like 24 in Bedford. It feels like 23 in Jasper tonight. Also feels like 23 up in North Vernon. DJ King, shout out. It's getting really cold up in Jennings County. It feels like 24 in Madison and LaGrange and Shelbyville. And as we mentioned here in the town, it feels like 26. And it feels like 28 down in Mumfordville and E-Town. It feels like 29 in Campbellsville. So at least for tonight, the main issue, quite honestly, is the cold. Yes, we've got the snow flurries and snow showers around. It's not heavy enough to cause travel trouble. But when you get to Monday morning, here in Louisville at least, our forecast actual temperature is 27. but it's going to feel more like 17. And quite honestly, you could give those numbers in that ballpark for the rest of wave country too. Lows in the mid 20s tomorrow morning with wind chills in the mid teens. It is going to be very, very cold. Nothing unheard of, right? We're used to this. It's just been a while. So make sure you have the heavier winter coats, hats, gloves. Make sure the kiddos are layered up at the bus stop. If they got to wait outside, make sure they're layered up tomorrow morning. So that's the main focus, quite honestly, over the next 12 hours. Now, let's shift to our alert day. We mentioned the alert day is now going to start tomorrow morning. So you're actually going to be watching Brian Good, Botsman himself, on sunrise tomorrow morning starting at 4:30. Tawana's taking some time off. So Brian's filling in the morning. He's going to be tracking that next big batch of snow moving in tomorrow morning. And that's when the alert day kicks in. We're going to keep the alert day in place all day Monday. It's not going to snow nonstop on Monday, morning, afternoon, and night. But the lingering impacts from that snow could last into Tuesday. So the alert day is all day tomorrow and into early on Tuesday. And there's a couple reasons why that we'll talk about. When we break down the snow coverage hour by hour, you notice that initial bit of snow that we have this evening right here, about a 20-30% chance for these snow showers. It'll be with us through about midnight. Then we get into a very small break in the snow showers from about 1 to 5 a.m. So it's not a big break, but it's enough to keep the roads in decent shape for the morning drive. Maybe a few flurries, that's all. Once we get past sunrise Monday morning, that next big batch of snow will start to move in. So we go up to a 30% chance around 6 a.m., and we just keep on climbing through the rest of the morning. If you made me narrow down a time frame on Monday of when there will be the most snow on radar on the Wave Weather app, I would say between about 9 o'clock and about 3 p.m. In that 9 to 3 window, it's about a 60% chance for snow showers. So during that time, we're going to have the most snow in general, be it light or heavy. But you're also going to have those snow squalls developing. Basically, within this big shield of snow, you're going to have these little narrow bands that are basically burst of snow. Those are snow squalls, if you've never heard of that. And that's where we could run into some trouble. And quite honestly, that's why we have the alert day during the day tomorrow. Normally, for a lighter snow setup like this, we may hold off on alert day, but we were very cautious with this one because of that snow squall concern. That can reduce visibilities really quick. If you've never been in a snow squall, if you're not careful, it's like a whiteout. If you're driving in that, that's a problem. So, and it's really hard to narrow down exactly where those snow squalls will develop too. So if you're going to ask like, oh, is my town going to see a snow squall? It's hard to say. Those are very small mesoscale features that we really can't nail down until it's actually happening, until the snow is actually falling. Hopefully that makes sense. So about 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. is the main window for the most snow and the potentially heavy snow. And then we get past 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and that snow moves out really quickly. I think by 7 tomorrow night, the radar is going to be completely clear, and we'll see clearing skies as well. So let's go through Futurecast, show you what I'm talking about. Right now, Futurecast is the HRR model again, HRRR. It's doing a really good job pinpointing that rain to snow transition. Get towards midnight tonight, you notice how that snow coverage fades. Still maybe a few flurries. I'm going to keep a 20% chance in there, but there's just not going to be as many snow showers, and it's not going to be heavy enough to cause problems, at least tonight. Then we get into tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., the alert day kicks in. Here comes that bigger snow shield. Starting to move into Bedford, Seymour, and North Vernon around 5 or 6 a.m. Here in Louisville, perhaps a couple flakes flying, should be okay. But notice how that big shield of snow keeps diving south throughout the day. Most of this stuff is going to be light tomorrow. But if you get some of these bands that try to show up, that's where you could have snow squalls come into play. And those snow squalls are where we're going to see the most accumulations and where the visibility is going to drop really quickly. So that's the focus during the day tomorrow from 9 a.m. to about 3 p.m. Keep going. Here's noon. See that steadier snow still going on. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Hang on. There we go. Here's noon. Here's 2 p.m. Louisville, the snow's winding down by 2 o'clock. And then by 7, it's gone. It is completely gone. It'll clear our southern counties last. So you guys down near Columbia, Campbellsville, Mumfordville, you may still see some snow flying around until about 4 or 5 p.m. And then it'll be done. So this is a quick hitting system when it comes to the snow. The problem is it's just enough to where it could cause some trouble. Okay? Our snowfall forecast has not changed. There's no reason to touch it. It's been on target since we put the map out first on Friday, I think it was. Or maybe it was Thursday. I don't know. It runs all together now. There's no reason to change it. Most of us are going to see less than 1 inch of snow. That does not mean you're going to see exactly 1 inch of snow. That means you're going to see less than 1 inch of snow. Probably around 1/4 to maybe 1/2 inch. Not a ton. It'll be enough to maybe coat the grass in the front yard, enough to coat the roof of the car or the roof of the house for a minute. But that's about it. Having said that, 1/2 inch of snow is enough to drop visibilities in those snow squalls. And as those temperatures drop Monday night into Tuesday morning, it wouldn't be enough to potentially cause slick spots on bridges and overpasses. So that's why the alert day continues into Tuesday morning. Most of the main roads that are, for lack of a better phrase, dug into the ground, most of those roads will be fine because the ground temperatures are still quite warm in the 50s. But those bridges and overpasses, as you guys know, are very susceptible to that cold air getting underneath it and dropping the surface temperatures much faster. So it's mainly a bridge and overpass issue for Tuesday morning. Why? Because of this. This forecast remains the same as well. Tuesday morning, actual temperatures in the low 20s. It's going to be even colder Tuesday morning than it will be Monday morning. And when you factor in those wind chills, those two will be just as bad, if not a couple degrees colder on Tuesday, in the low to mid-teens for a lot of you. So that's the concern for Tuesday morning, is the fact that you've got these cold temps and these cold wind chills, maybe a fresh coat of snow, even though it's only like 1/4 inch. Cold air gets under those bridges and overpasses and they freeze up. So that's what we're going to be focusing on Tuesday morning once the snow moves out. All right. So that's where we are, guys. A lot of different moving parts still. I'll pop up the 10-day earliest alert and then we'll answer questions. So if you got questions, send them in. And what a roller coaster we're on over the next 10 days. We recover into the 40s Tuesday afternoon. So it'll still be chilly on Tuesday, but it'll feel a little better, right? We'll be in the 40s. It's better than the 30s. Wednesday, we start to get closer to where we should be in early to mid-November. 60 degrees, very breezy on Wednesday, very breezy on Wednesday. I'll pop that up real quick. Could have some gusts upwards of 25, maybe 30 miles an hour at times on Wednesday, Wednesday. Windy Wednesday. But that will be a warm southwest wind that'll push us to around 60. And then next weekend, Saturday, our forecast high is 70 because you just can't make it up. It's crazy. I have more to talk about for next weekend in a moment, but I know a lot of you guys have snow questions, so let's do that. 500 of you watching on our Wave social media platforms. We appreciate every last one of you. And bear with me, there might be dead air while I'm trying to read through these comments. So hang tight. Angela said about 10, 15 minutes ago, took the dogs out and it was still spitting snow in Radcliffe. Good to know. Appreciate the report. Allie's here. How does Lexington look for tomorrow? I need to head there in the morning. The earlier the better if you just want to play it super safe. 64 as a whole should be okay because it's an interstate. There's more traffic on it. Just be aware as you're crossing those bridges and overpasses on 64, especially later into the afternoon tomorrow, there may be a couple of slick spots. Just keep that in mind, especially that big bridge over the Kentucky River near Frankfort. Just be careful on that, especially if you're heading back, I guess, later in the day on Monday. Hope that helps. Let's see. I'm going to focus on questions. I see all your snow reports, but I want to focus on any questions you guys have. Let's see. Brandon, are these new upgraded graphics? Yes, some of them are. You're going to be noticing a lot of big changes to how we do weather here at Wave starting tomorrow. Both graphics and other factors. Keith, any concerns with I-75 south of Lexington tomorrow? Actually, there's a little more concern in that part of the state, Keith, because we've got more mountainous terrain, especially as you get down towards Berea, Mount Vernon, Corbin, London, so on and so forth. There's a chance we could have some very slightly higher totals down that way, maybe around an inch, down towards London, Corbin, Williamsburg. But the general impacts are still the same, where the main issues would be those bridges and overpasses down that way as well. And the snow squall potential too. So the same general threats down that way, Keith, but maybe seeing amounts closer to an inch in that part of the state. Not here in Wave Country, but maybe slightly higher further south. Tiffany, will the snow end up sticking or will it just melt? A lot of it is going to melt because, as we talked about, the ground's so warm. If you get under one of these snow squalls, it might stick. That's where you might get that quarter, half inch. But a lot of it is going to melt just because we're so early in the season. The ground's still pretty warm. Let's see. Adam Bots, Brian on the snow. Yeah, he'll be doing the sunrise show, and he'll still do snow talk in the morning. Obviously, he'll still do that for sure. Let's see. Braden, any chance we could see snow squall warnings? Yeah, it's possible. It is very possible, to be honest with you. For those of you that don't know, the National Weather Service about 4 or 5 years ago introduced snow squall warnings that are just like severe thunderstorm warnings, that are just like tornado warnings. It's just winter weather. Snow squall warnings are issued when you have these heavier snow squalls develop that are causing serious visibility issues or dropping very heavy snow. It's possible to get 1 or 2 snow squall warnings tomorrow. I can't rule it out. That's, again, the main driver for the alert day during the day tomorrow as the snow is falling. So, yeah, it's definitely possible for sure. Cameron says, let's just skip this flurry light stuff and bring on a winter storm. I'll pass on that, but I know you Bots fans out there, Cameron, are ready for that for sure. It'll happen eventually. I have no doubt about that. Sir Kodo 51 on YouTube has a fun question. When do we see the last of the 60s We'll still see the 60s several more times. Quite honestly, we see 60s from time to time into December and January, February. We do. So I'm not sure if I'm ready to say, like, hey, we're done with the 60s after a certain point. Definitely not in the next 10 days. Get this little cold snap tomorrow and Tuesday. And then we're back into the 60s Wednesday onward for the most part. Let's see. Again, bear with me, looking for questions more than anything, since I know you guys want to figure out how this is all going to impact you. All right. There was one question I missed. Now I can't find it. Doggone it. Oh, heck. Where was it? Anyway, it was somebody asking about next weekend. And that's kind of my last little nugget I want to touch on here with the 10-day. Next weekend, we need to pay attention to next Sunday. And the reason I say that is because there is another potent system that'll make its way towards us by next Sunday, 1 week from today. And there are indications. I should have gotten the CSU maps in here, and I didn't. I forgot. I apologize. But as that next system moves in for this upcoming weekend, there are very strong signals for severe weather to our west on Saturday, out across Missouri, Arkansas, maybe into Illinois. On Saturday, there could be some severe weather. And that same system will likely be moving into wave country on Sunday. Now, based on what I've seen, and I haven't looked at a ton for next weekend, to be honest with you, because I've been so focused on the snow and cold. But based on what I've seen, the severe threat is not as high for us next Sunday, but it still bears watching. So we're going to keep an eye on that for next Sunday. Way too early to get into specifics, anything like that. But we're once we get past this snow tomorrow, I think Sunday is going to be a item of attention for the wave storm tracking team. Just too early to get into more specifics than that. Saturday looks great here. It looks great here. Good bit of sun, high of 70. But Sunday will, at least at minimum, likely have some showers, maybe a few storms. It's just too early to say if we're going to be having severe storms here. The better threat would be Saturday to our west. So that's kind of that's the earliest alert I want to give you for next Sunday. We're going to be watching that once we get past the snow and the cold over the next day and a half. All right. All those MPing reports still coming in. Love it. Love it. Yeah, keep those reports coming in throughout the night. They're very helpful. Any more questions before we wrap it up tonight? Steve, will we see any sunshine in the afternoon? If you're talking about tomorrow, probably not until it's too late, to be honest with you. The reason I say that is because, okay, the snow moves out around 5, 6 p.m., but by that point, it's already dark with the time change. So I'm not sure if we'll see much sun at all tomorrow, unfortunately. Tuesday, I think we'll see a little more. Wednesday, we'll definitely have sun. No question. Adam, was the weather contest won today? Not that I'm aware of. No. Remember, the contest is when Louisville would hit 1 inch of snow first. When would be the first 1 inch snowfall event for Louisville? And that has definitely not happened tonight. There's been a trace of snow, which means there's been flurries. But we're looking for when the first 1 inch snowfall will be. And I'm not totally convinced we'll see that tonight or tomorrow. We won't see it tonight. I'm not totally convinced we see it tomorrow. All right. We good? Any last minute comments, questions, thoughts, concerns before we go? Somebody thinks they're funny, so we're going to kick them out. That's all I got, guys. Just stay warm. That's really the big thing tonight. And through the day tomorrow, just pack your patience. I don't think it's a day where you have to cancel your plans or anything like that. Just know if as you're driving around and you get under one of these snow squalls, try your best to kind of pull into a parking lot or something like that and just let that snow squall scoot through, because when they hit, you don't see much of anything for a little bit. So that's the main concern during the day tomorrow. And then Monday night to Tuesday morning, as those temps drop back below freezing, we'll have to watch for a few slick spots on a bridge or an overpass here or there. And then we get out of the freeze. And it'll feel like November again. November's always all over the place, though, if we're being honest. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. Appreciate y'all tuning in. It's Sunday night. That means football. Steelers-Chargers, for all you football fans out there tonight. It'll be a good game. It'll be a good game for sure. We will have a snow update for you on Wave News once Sunday Night Football ends, if you are still awake at that point. We've been going on really late after Sunday Night Football this year. Hopefully we'll be on the air around 11:45. Yes, that's a big ask of us, but if you're still awake, we invite you to tune in. If not, Brian will be on Wave News Sunrise tomorrow morning starting at 4:30 as he tracks the big batch of snow that'll move in tomorrow morning. And obviously he'll be here in the Wave Now studios for Snow Talk in the morning as well. All right, that's all, guys. Thanks for stopping by this weekend. Stay warm, enjoy the snow, be careful, and I'll talk at you next weekend. Take care.